Friends, I hope you are excited as me being here. So, together we are strong, you and me. And, you might be watching this in your leisure time or when you have time on your hands or somewhere in between meetings. But I want to use this, and you are probably attracted to the headline three key metrics to win the week. And there's a lot of things out there, but I believe very strongly in personal leadership and taking care of yourself. So let us get the basics out of the way. First, I want you to have a water. Monday for me, it's a lot about taking care of my health. So I fast, I do intermittent fasting. So that means I'm skipping breakfast. I already went the night before to bed without eating, or at least maybe had a light dinner, or depends how I feel. If I had like some days a little bit more social life, I need to eat a little bit more. But generally, until the next day, until 5, 6, I don't eat anything, and it helps me a lot. So I try to use that today. Usually, it's Monday for me as detox day. So sometimes I skip coffee, I substitute with green tea, or even when I use coffee, usually I try to put one of these bad boys in the bottle. I also recommend you to get one of that bottle from Amazon. Half liter, 2 liters, whatever you see fit. 2 liter might be big. Then I want you to get also these stretch bands, tear bands, whatever you call them. It's really good advice. A friend of mine the other day asked me, "Hey, how do you build better mind muscle connection with the bicep?" And for me, historically, it has been the stretch bands. Also because of sometimes my schedule can vary and then I need to travel a bit more. I love this. So you can get it again on Amazon, different size, different strength. But I like it because you can do it, seated, you can do it standing, and it helps me to train my body holistically. And then the third thing for the environment that I want to give you guys before we jump into these, daily or let's say weekly, probably daily strategies, is really surround yourself with a lot of green stuff. You don't even see it. I'll show you. I like cactus plants a lot, so I have multiple plants here next to me, behind me, and also where I'm sitting usually. That's just refreshing, and it reminds you, just like you can see a little bit outside, it's green. And I think it's important that the environment dictates a little bit how we feel about ourselves. So just that, you know, getting that out of the way, I want to remind you that the week is special. Each week should be special. And as we kind of heading out of the holidays, it's important for us to remember that things sometimes work better when we plan them. And I have sometimes, struggling with this myself. I try to remind myself of that quote from Seth Godin, be so good that people can't ignore you. And often we, complain about the followers that we don't have enough, or the job that could be better, or the pay could be better. But it's really, if you follow yourself with simple rules, and I try to simplify my life as much as from what I wear, how much I buy, how much stuff I possess in generally. If you're interested in this concept, Google Marie Kondo, who comes to people and organizes their life for living. But generally, if you really want to see your days improve, it's really about challenging yourself and trying to, stretch yourself. And I feel like we live really in a competitive world. There's a lot of smart people out there, and the thing is, I'm not so worried about smart people, but I'm more worried about that we often miss the boat when we go from one stage to another. There is a lot of opportunities coming daily in our lives. I really believe that. And it comes a lot, with the mindset, whether you're sales, marketing, operations, IT, it's all the same. You need to really recognize opportunities and take them when they come. And that's why I really like to borrow hats. Just had a discussion with my friend about it, from other people, and then just think how that person would solve it. How can I solve that? And borrow the strategy of the great people, study them, how they achieve goals. And it will help you to also offset a little bit the anxiety, because, when you start something new, just like I'm doing this, right? I've done probably 100 episodes or so, but I'm still mumbling sometimes, fumbling through the process, and I feel foolish. But at the same time, I'm thinking, good for you, I'm trying. And I want you to think the same. We just look out there and we think that, we already should have the millions, we should be already recognized and famous. But that's irrelevant. What I want you to really focus on as you focus in a week is competing with yourself. So I have a little quote, or not even a quote, but maybe a little metric for you. Personal challenge, then put it together with the way of the turtle. The way of the turtle is my acronym for having a long-term perspective. So going slow to sail smooth rather than rushing things. And that, in my opinion, equals to the great life quality, satisfaction, but also great outcomes. Again, it's the personal challenge that you set with yourself, the way of the turtle, having long-term perspective, which equals having a great life, satisfaction, and outcomes. And the challenge is that many times in our life we think, about life from a survival perspective. We just try to get by, and that in that manner, if you look at that like a psychologist, you act from the amygdala part of the brain, so the fight or flight mode, so the survival part of the brain, the limbic brain. But what you want to act from the thrive and from the optimistic part of the brain, and that happens when you're calm. Then you can meet challenges at your best. You don't complain and sit on your laurels. You really deal with challenges. So here are the three things which I believe can help you to have an incredible week. The first thing is getting inspired daily. It's about feeding your mindset with inspiration so you can, perhaps watch some podcast, listen to your favorite show. The second is really setting your goals and looking at them daily. Having a needle moving projects, how to measure yourself can be really the difference between focusing on the wrong thing and really seeing yourself 5 years down the road thriving. Again, this doesn't have to be so fancy. It's about really deciding for yourself clearly what you want to focus on. And then the third piece, in my opinion, is the daily habit. So the projects will flow a little bit better when you schedule a block time or calendar time, whatever you call it, and work towards the goals daily. So this again requires some consistency and some daily behavior. And in my opinion, these are the three pillars that help me. So, I wake up in the morning, I'm listening to something positive, either from some friends, or I write, or I listen to the podcast that I've done, or a podcast, my favorite podcast. I look over over my goals. I have also vision board or battle board, whatever you call it. Different people, call it like Brandon Burchard battle board, or you have your calendar and then you have some themes for the month. You focus on that. So I have to definitely get better at this, but it helps me to keep myself honest and focused on a long-term perspective. Then when you set these goals daily, then you also know, okay, I have to work towards it. It's not so like, hey, let's just do whatever I want. And lastly, it's really about habits. When have the daily habit, when you look at it, when you know that you have to wake up, you want to exercise, you need your shoes, you need to focus on your behavior a little bit every day. And lastly, what I want to give you guys is really have your reminders, like that things take time, that you should be patient, that you should, with enough time, effort, and optimization, you will get better. And also, make sure that you measure yourself weekly, be open to trying something else, and do not beat yourself up so much, because that obviously doesn't add so much value. So anyways, I hope that helped you. Stay strong, stay positive, and I'm looking forward to see you